Forgot my mic. Hello, all. Welcome back. Another slate of predictions for 8-12 games plus a Monday Night Football. I'm assuming that yes, and our birds are back this week. Um, um, yeah. So the birds play on Monday. So without further ado, let's get into it. Not much to say to add. They had a bye week, so can't really criticize them, can't celebrate them. The Sixers need to get back on track, though. They play their first in the black uniforms today, so we'll see how that goes. Not happy with Tottenham. Not happy with Tottenham today. Down 1-0 in the 83rd. You get a goal in the 84th. You go 1-1. Matthias Tell, wonder goal. And then Richarlison scores one that's even better in the 90-plus time. And then we concede to Man U with 10 men to get. We got a point out of a game where we were down in the 83rd minute, so it's not the worst case scenario, but no, we really should have won that matchup. But without further ado, with the other football, let's talk about the NFL. We do have a game overseas. I think I already said that. I'm not sure if this one's London or not. I don't know, because I know they might have a Germany game, but it's early in the morning. It's Munich, it seems. So Germany. Yes, it's Germany. And in this matchup, we have the 3-5 Falcons take on the 7-2 Colts. The Colts are technically the home team, but obviously this matchup, like I just said, it's in Germany, so there is no true home team. It's just whoever the fans decide they want to root for. And I feel like the Falcons will have the home field advantage here because of one simple reason. If you're a German and you have to decide who you want to root for, are you going to root for the Colts, the 7-2 good side, or are you going to root for the underdog, Falcons? Are you going to root for Daniel Jones, or are you going to root for the guy whose last name sounds like penis? I know who I would pick. That's all I'm going to say. So I would definitely say that they will have the real home field advantage. The Falcons will, but it won't be real at all. For this matchup, the Colts did lose last week. I'm not surprised. And I think the Falcons will beat them this week. I think Daniel Jones is a fraud. Daniel Jones is an overrated fraud who is carried by a miracle run that makes him look semi good, but he's really trash. He's really not good at all. He is just not a good player, and I don't know why people think he's this wonder superstar. Like, oh, Daniel Jones went from this nobody bum who is most known for not making it to the end zone when he had a wide open pass. I don't know how he's gone from that to someone that some people consider superstar material, because we all know that Daniel Jones is not superstar material in the NFL, and he just got severely overrated for mostly the play of Jonathan Taylor, and then he got exposed last week when he had five, not one, not two, not three, not four, but five turnovers against a team of the Pittsburgh Steelers, who has a good defense, but not that good. So I think the Falcons will expose those frauds. Next, we have the movable force versus the unlikable object. The 1-8 New Orleans Saints travel to Carolina to take on the 5-4 Panthers. And yes, you heard me right, the 5-4 Panthers. If you remember back to last Saturday, my prediction video, you'll remember that the Panthers were 4-4, right? That's something you'll remember, and you'll remember that when the Panthers were 4-4, they were playing the Packers, and the Packers were favored in that game by 15 points. Now the Panthers are 5-4. We know what that means. I told you that was a disrespectful spread. I think the game ended 13-10. Anyway, it might have been 16-13. Yeah. So it wasn't even that entertaining of a game. Packers even scored enough points on their own that would have covered the spread. If the Panthers didn't score, Panthers plus 13.5 still would have won. So that is just a crazy disrespectful spread to the Panthers, and they somehow won. And obviously the Saints are just one of the worst teams. Luckily for all NFL fandom, we are treated to this match twice a year as they're in the same division, though. And everyone loves a good old trash bowl. But the Panthers are actually looking decent, and I think they're going to get to 6-4. I think they'll be 2 games over 500, which is really impressive. And right now they're second in the NFC South to the Bucks. I still think they'll lose the division. I don't know if there's any way they sneak into the playoffs without that. But 6-4 is a team with playoff aspirations. I don't know if they have any tough matchups at the end of that schedule, but if they do, they're going to have to power through it like they did against the Packers, and they might. If the Panthers were a playoff team, that would be an unheard of surprise that is really nice to see. They'd probably get crushed in the first round like the Falcons did all those years back. We don't forget that. But nonetheless, the next matchup. I know I'm yapping. I'm yapping about things, but it's okay. I like to yap. Let me move this back a little bit. My hair's sticking up back there. Anyways, um, yeah, it is it is what it is, I suppose. But anyways, the 2-7 New York Giants travel over to Soldier Field. I believe. I don't know if they changed it. I thought they had talks about changing it, but how could you change Soldier Field? To face this 5-3 Chicago Bears. As I've said time and time again, I'm a slight uh, Bears fan. I love the Bears. Obviously, not even close to as much as the Eagles, but the Bears are a fun team to watch. They get the job done against the Bengals last week in what was game of the year. Potentially, the Bears, they were up 2 scores, I think. It was at 15 points, 16 points. Well, they were they were up 14 points, 41-27. But then the Bengals got a touchdown, got the 2-point conversion. This all with less than 2 minutes, by the way. Then, just 40 seconds later, they got another touchdown to take the lead. So they were actually up with less than a minute to go after being down 15 with less than 2 minutes, 14 with less than 2 minutes to go. And then Colston Loveland got a 60-yard game-winning touchdown catch. It was a 20-yard catch, and they spun off the defender and took it like 40 extra yards for the touchdown, which was one of the best games we will ever see this year. 100% game of the year so far, and probably going to be game of the year at the end of the year. DeAndre Swift is questionable in this matchup. Rome Odunze has been upgraded to active. And through, you know, I'm going to be biased. The Giants suck. They lost 2 of their best players, Malik Neighbors and Cam Scatterbo, and they're in our division. And I like the Bears, so I'm going to take the Bears to get to 6-3. How are they doing this season? Yeah, the NFC North's a tough division, so they're still third in that. But playoff-wise, how are they doing? Are they have any chance? The Bears are 1 game out of the playoffs, but unfortunately for them, the Lions are the 7th seed, so that will still be a tough seed to grab. The Niners, they could probably overtake. I don't know how long they're going to stay at the top. And then the same goes for the Panthers. They're right there, too. So this could be a very interesting playoff picture this year. Right now, the top are the Eagles, the 1 seed in the NFC right now. But they are tied record-wise with the Buccaneers and the Seahawks. I'm not really sure how. I think it's points per game. No, because the Seahawks. Maybe it's point differential that distinguishes that. That probably is it, but not really sure. But the Eagles are at the top, as always. Division winners get to be at the top. Next matchup, the 5-3 Jacksonville Jaguars. 99% of the time, you see an international game, they're in it. They are the home team in London, but not this week because we're not in London. Versus the 3-5 Texans. The Texans are having an off year because their big signing has been out for the whole year, and C.J. Stroud is not going to be playing. I don't know when this happened. Obviously, he got hurt in the early in the I remember this. He like slid late and took a big hit, and then Davis Mills came in. So that makes my decision easy. I'm going to back the Jaguars. I mean, they're playing without Joe Mixon, who hasn't played. They don't even have their starting kicker. They don't have their starting quarterback. So I think it's just going to be a rough day. And then they're missing their backup tight end and their 4th-string wide receiver, too. So, yeah. Speaking of that Bills game from all those years ago, we got the rematch. They play 2 times every year. I'm 99% sure of that. Just going to confirm, yes, they do. The 2-7 Dolphins hosting the 6-2 Bills. I mean, it's going to be the same thing on that wild card game where when it was snowing, it's going to be a Bills blowout. Easy win for the Bills. It's basically a bye week. I would be jaw dropped if the Bills found a way to not win this game. So I will obviously back Buffalo there because I just think that the Dolphins are one of the worst teams in football history this year. Like I know they're 2-7, but still they are just so bad. I hate them so much. So give me the Buffalo Bills, and we move on. All right. How many 1 o'clock games we got left? We got 3 1 o'clock games left. Let's get to them. We got the 3-5 Baltimore Ravens heading to Minnesota to take on the 4-4. Well, we know who they're taking on. They're taking on the 4-4 Minnesota Vikings. I didn't say Vikings. My bad. 3-5 Ravens, 4-4 Vikings in Minnesota, 1 p.m. Baltimore slight favorites. And let's see the injury list. Who is active? Who is questionable? Baltimore fully healthy offense. Baltimore Defense fully healthy, so yeah, they're fully healthy. And obviously, Aaron Jones is still questionable. JJ McCarthy's healthy, and then defensively they are pretty healthy, fully healthy. Um, I think that I'm going to have to take Baltimore to win this game. I know that this year, technically, the Vikings are a little bit better, and last year they were really good. And Baltimore's been kind of trash this year, but I think that's mainly due to Lamar's injury. And now that he's back, I think he's going to start finding his footing. And I still think Baltimore can make the playoffs. 3-5. I think they can rip off 6 games in a row, be 9-5, and then be in the playoff picture. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm pretty sure they won last week too. They are slight favorites heading on the road. I know they're on the road, but I just think overall they're a better team, and that might be that's kind of the opposite of recency bias. That's like past bias. Like I get they're 3-5 now, but they once were really good, and I think they could still be really good. So I'm gonna take them. Oh, I gave that title to the wrong game. I said like the movable force versus the unlikable object. Talk about that. The 2-6 Cleveland Browns heading to New York to take on the 1-7 New York Jets. They did get their shocking win right before the bye week. Their bye week against the Bengals by 1 point in the Unk Bowl. That was a very entertaining game. But in this game, I'm going to take Cleveland to edge this one out. I think it's going to be close because they both suck. And the good thing is that one of them has to win, I guess, because I kind of feel bad for these teams. But this is it's like the Super Bowl for the trash teams because they both want to lose, you know. But Christian Judkins is back and healthy. Garrett Wilson is not fully healthy, and those are the two best players on both sides. And the Browns have one more win anyway, and the Jets have just been brutally awful. So that's why I am going to take the New York Jets to win this game. Actually, can I do this? Is he still available? Tell me he's still available. Yes, he is. I am going to drop Tua in my fantasy league and pick up Justin Fields. The Browns suck, but I think Justin Fields will outscore Tua Tagovailoa. Book it. Give me Justin Fields as my starter. That brought us from a 41% chance to a 40%. No, we're still 41. Yeah, because I started. I had the reins for a fantasy team with my grandpa this week and started Trey Tucker. So that went great. 5.5 points. I picked him up off the waiver wire too, just to start him. We do have an empty bench spot, so it is what it is. That means for all my league mates that Tua has hit the chopping block. So I'll probably after this week I'll try and quickly scoop him back up because I just think that Justin Fields will outperform him this week. And it doesn't really matter who our backup is because the only reason that it's a conversation is because Mahomes is on bye. So as long as he stays healthy, I don't really care who we have behind him. But anyways, off of the wrong topic, our last 1 o'clock game, 7-2 Patriots head to the Bucks to take on the 6-2 Buccaneers. Oh yes, finally, it's gonna happen. The trash, the horrible Patriots that are carried and overrated by a weak schedule face up against a real good team. The Buccaneers are gonna win this matchup by 1,000,000,000 points. 1,000,000,000. It is going to be 1,000,000,000 at halftime, and then they're gonna be like, you know what? We can't play anymore. This is so sad. This is so sad to see a team perform so bad. We're calling the game, and it's going to end there. That is what I'm telling you. That is what's going to happen. You better believe it. Give me the Buccaneers. Now we have 3 4 o'clock matchups. The first one, another in-division matchup. Is that a theme this week? Not really, but we have actually 2 more in-division matchups. 3-5 Cardinals, 6-2 Seahawks. I'll make it quick. Kyler Murray got benched for Jacoby Brissett. That's sad. He's injured. Well, he actually might be injured, but I know he did get benched at one point in the last game. So I'm gonna take the Seahawks. I don't really like this game. This game would have been game of the week 2 years ago, not this year. Get out of here. The Cardinals were like 11-0 2 years ago. Crazy times. And AJ Green went the wrong way or something. Like the pass went to him and he was looking the wrong way. Got intercepted. They lost the game off that on like 3rd and goal. So that was interesting. Our last divisional matchup is one of the most interesting teams in football this year. The 6-2 Rams, not them, heading to San Fran to take on the 6-3 Niners. And I find this team to be one of the most interesting teams because they're being led by Mac Jones basically this whole year because Brock Purdy has been out with a toe injury. He is questionable to return this week, but Mac Jones has held down the fort. And so that makes you wonder, is there going to be a quarterback battle where Mac Jones could potentially be your starter? Because the last time Brock Purdy played, I don't even remember when it was. I'm trying to find it out for us here. The Niners He didn't play in this game, so did he play in this game? Yes, he did. He played in this game, and was that his last game? Did he play one more? Yeah, that was his last game. Was September 7th. So over 2 months ago as of today. Because it's November 8th. So literally, just off of it. Um, because that's actually I just saw something really funny. But so that's actually really interesting. I think there will be a quarterback battle. Um, but I'm gonna take the Rams to win this game, and I'm underestimating the Niners. I know that, but I just don't think they're that good, and I'm not really sure how this matchup will go because maybe Mac Jones will continue to show impressive play. He's been mediocre, but he's been good. Um, so I know that's like a contradiction, but like he's been a mediocre quarterback, but he's played good enough to win most of his games. If you know that's what I mean. Next matchup, Detroit heads to Washington for the rematch. 3-6 Commanders, 5-3 Lions. Pray for Jaden Daniels. He basically snapped his arm in half. If you did not see, I don't recommend you see. It is similar to the Cam Skybo one, where it is like a look away injury. So hopefully he recovers because even though they're one of our rivals, we never want to win off of injured players. That's always a loser behavior. So I do think the Lions will win just because of that. I don't think Marcus Mariota has what it takes to beat the Lions. I don't think the Commanders have the core with Jaden Daniels to beat the Lions. Basically, what I'm saying is if Daniels was healthy, I would still take the Lions to win this game, but he is not with an elbow injury, disgusting injury. And the Lions are pretty healthy, so I am going to take the Lions to win this game. And there's not much to talk about there. Last week, it would have been a primetime matchup, but this week, unfortunately, it just isn't because of what happened. Last matchup, 5-3 Steelers, led by the man, the myth, the legend, Aaron Rodgers versus the 6-3 Chargers, led by Justin Herbert. I'm actually going to take the Steelers. Slight upset. I think Justin Herbert's just not that good. I think he's really overrated, like Drake May. And I think he'll get exposed by Unk and the Steelers. Last matchup of the week here, we got the Philadelphia Eagles, 6-2, going up against the 5-1 Packers. Very interesting that they tied. Eagles are actually underdogs. At least here. I guess I'll check a real gambling website real quick because on this thing they're underdogs, but that usually has inaccurate spreads that you can kind of take advantage of. Let's see. Are they real life underdogs as well? They are, but it's like minus 110, minus 115, so it's not really. But the Eagles are slight underdogs heading to Green Bay. We beat Green Bay the last at least 3 times we played them. Every single time Jalen Hurts has been under center, we have beat Green Bay. So I'm not really worried about this matchup. I know they're good this year. I know they have Micah Parsons now, but still, Jalen Hurts owns these Packers. We're going to fly on to our 7th win and our 3rd consecutive win since that Giants blowout. We just have to wash that one out. We just have to forget about it. And thank you for watching this podcast. And have a great Sunday of football. And come back when I get all 13.